Hi folks, Pete here from Ashton's Cars. It's a very chilly Monday evening here, and today I'm showing you around a 2015 VAUXHALL Corsa. This is a special edition model. It's the 1.2 litre Excite model, which was a special edition they ran back in 2015, and it's got quite a lot of extras on it for what is essentially a super mini. So we've got a 3-door car here, little 1.2 litre engine, so very cheap running costs. It's a 70 horsepower engine, so it's quite nippy. And also, being the Excite model, you've got the alloy wheels on it and a load of extras inside, including heated seats and, wait for it, heated steering wheel, which is an absolute godsend today, guys, because it doesn't look that bad today, but the weather's being a bit of a tease because it is absolutely Baltic out here. Oh, that's a pretty little effect on my camera from the LEDs. They are not actually flashing like that, trust me. That's just the camera effect. In real life they're not doing that. But anyway, let's have a look around this car and show you what you get for your money on a 2015 Corsa Excite. So it's quite a familiar car, this, I'm sure, to most people, especially if you're watching this from the UK. It'll probably be the Opel Corsa elsewhere, but VAUXHALL Corsas have been for many years one of the most popular super minis in probably not just the UK but Europe as well. And I know they are sold, I think, in some other countries under different names and different badges. I'm sure you'll fill me in the comments. They're a very well-rounded super mini. These are very popular, especially with younger drivers, because the running costs are quite low. Insurance on them is not too bad at all, and they do offer a reasonably good specification of car for not too much money. They're quite a good bargain, really. This one's finished in a nice metallic bronze colour, I want to say. Beige, I don't know what it's called. It's probably got a really fancy name. I think it's a really good colour for the car, though. It's certainly a lot nicer than the average silver that they seem to come in, and it looks quite classy. The car's well proportioned, and even though it's a familiar sight, it's actually quite a good looking car when you look at it. There's nothing really that offensive about it at all. It's quite cool, the line on this back window. They made the 3-door model specifically a very different shape from the 5-door, so you've got quite a sporty sort of angle on this window, and then it kicks back into this gloss black sort of shape by here, which is quite cool. It's got a bit of a shape to it, nice sort of lines to the sort of door and the rear wing there, which sort of haunches out. It's not a bad looking thing at all, really, and very popular among younger drivers. I think partly because it has got a bit of a cool factor to it, and they do a few sporty models like the VXRs, which obviously elevate the whole range. But this one's got 16-inch wheels on it. They're alloy wheels. They do look the part. I think they're probably sort of one of the features that they sold this Excite model over the sort of regular Corsa of that day. Fitted with land sale tyres, which are a sort of a good quality budget tyre, so the previous owners looked after it pretty well. And the car's done 89,000 miles. Previously, this car was sold by our friends up in Bowen's Garage in Ross-on-Wye, and they took this car back in part exchange recently. They don't sell cars that have done over 50,000 miles, so this is now too high mileage for them to sell, so they passed it on to me. And I'm really glad they did, really. They always have very good quality cars up there. They've got a really good customer base up in Ross-on-Wye. Really sort of nice people and nice cars that they tend to deal with, so I'm always all too happy to have one of their part exchanges. And just because it's done 89,000 miles, this particular car, it doesn't mean that it's sort of worn out at all. In actual fact, as you can see, the bodywork's extremely straight on it. The only mark that I noticed is a very light mark by there, which I don't think is going to polish out, but which we will try and put a little bit of lacquer over to sort of hide. And it's on the plastic as well, so it will never rust. And apart from that, this car, which is 10 years old now, is in very good condition. You still get the Bowen's Garage plates on it. That's from when they sold it previously. And they sold this car a few years ago with 30,000 miles on it. So it's done about 60k with the last owner. they've clearly really enjoyed the car, and I think Bowens have done some of the servicing on it as well, which is great. They've got a little service centre up there in Ross-on-Wye. So I know this car's been really well looked after, and you know, from my point of view as a dealer, that goes a long way in itself, is knowing the history and knowing it's been looked after. So let's have a look at the boot space we get. Now, they do come, these, sometimes with like a fake floor that you can put in there, but I don't think this has got it. It has got the spare wheel though, that's good. Yeah, you can sometimes get a fake floor that you put into these little slots by here, but clearly this one hasn't got that. We have got the parcel shelf though, and it's in very good condition, so that's great. All attached properly, and a reasonably good sized boot, to be honest with you. The one thing that you don't get in this model of Corsa, which is, I like to give you the negatives as well as the positives, is I was surprised that it's a one-piece rear seat that doesn't have a split fold. You can sort of read into that if that's a problem or not for you. A lot of people never fold the seats down, and if they do, it's all or nothing. But they're not split folding seats in this model of Corsa. But they do fold flat. You can increase that boot space if you wish to by folding them, but it has to be all done as one. Now let's move on to the rear, but to do that, to get in the rear, let's just turn that down. There's the back. Now, it has got a slightly sloping roofline, this car, so it's not quite as much headroom in the back of this as there is in, say, a Polo, but it is still quite accommodating. It has still got ISOFIX, and it has still got free inertia seatbelts on that back seat. So this car is a proper 5-seater. You've even got little cup holders there in the middle between the two driver's seats for the rear seat passengers. When we move on to the front though, well, we've got a whole lot more. This is a really, really nice place to be. I was very surprised. I drove this car back from Ross-on-Wye myself today. Surprised, one, how spacious the car is, and also the level of equipment that I've got in here. So let me show you. So I'll turn the volume right down first off. This screen here houses the DAB stereo, which you can see I'm playing Radio 6 at the minute. Not available on FM, so it's quite nice to have a DAB stereo system. I've also got my phone hooked up through it, and I can play music off my phone through the stereo as well as answer calls, so that's really handy. I've got heated seats on both driver and passenger, and a heated steering wheel. I'm really shocked a car this level having heated seats and heating steering wheel, because that's not something you normally see until you're looking at sort of high-end Mercedes or Range Rovers. So it's a really well-equipped car, this, and it's also got cruise control on it. So coming down from Ross-on-Wye today, even though this is only a 1.2 litre engine, it felt really, really easy and relaxing to drive, because I popped it into fifth, popped the cruise control on, and enjoyed the drive for an hour. It was great. The dashboard's really well laid out. It's so much nicer than previous generation Corsas. It's the first time I've actually had one in this new. And I know it's not a new car, but you know, we don't deal really in new cars. So I was surprised at the sort of textures and the materials of the dash. It really does feel lovely. I like the fact you've got this sort of quite soft plastic, then a nice little aluminium waistline going into this beautiful grey panel, and then back to the soft plastic again. It's a nice shape. It's surprisingly, it feels quite upmarket, which is not a word I would have used on previous generation Corsas. I've got more cup holders to the front here. As you see, I've got 2 in the back, 2 in the front, and they're side by side, which I do quite like. And I've got my USB connectivity in there for my mobile phone as well. Everything that I could possibly want in a small car, this car seems to have, which I'm really impressed at, because I wasn't expecting that. And Corsas of old were quite basic by comparison. So there's my dashboard, nice simple layout, like the gauges on it, they're physical gauges, but you've also got a little digital system in the middle there. Oh, it's telling me my boot's open at the minute. I've not slammed it enough, have I? Never mind, let's start it up anyway. Let's do the startup sequence for you, and we'll just tell the car that we've read that message as well as the fuel one, and it'll be happy for a minute. So there we go. We've got a digital fuel gauge and temperature at the top, and then we've got these physical dials for the speedo and the rev counter. It's done 89,626 miles, so not a huge amount, for the age of it, around about average really for this type of car at this type of age, and everything's very clear and easy to use. I have got a little computer here which I can flick through. It tells me various sort of things about my trip and average miles per gallon, which is doing 48 miles per gallon, 49 miles per gallon it was earlier. It's really simple, really easy to use and quite intuitive. The steering wheel feels good in your hand as well. It's quite nice. It's not too thick in the rim, but it's got quite a nice shape to it, and it has got leather stitching on it, which looks quite cool. And I've got plenty of knee and elbow room in the car, which is good. Something that I haven't got in all Super Minis. So I'm quite a big guy, but I do feel comfortable behind the wheel of this Corsa, and the chances are that if I feel comfortable in it, you'll feel comfortable in it too. Part of the reason for that is I've got a little lever under here which I can flip down, and I can move this wheel not just up and down but also in and out as well. It's reach adjustable as well as height adjustable, which is quite good. You can even do it with one hand, look. And this computer system by here, while it's not the most sophisticated one in the world, has got apps and gallery and phone systems and stuff on it, so you can have a little play about with that, and there's a fair bit on there. What I do like is the fact that the heater controls are not through the screen. They've kept physical heater controls here, so I can easily, while on the go, feel my way around those without taking my eyes off the road. And that's just one of the reasons why I think this model of Corsa is an ideal first car for people. It's easy to use, easy to drive, and it's telling me now I need to service the ESC. I've just had it washed off, so probably a speed sensor somewhere on it. I need to get that's cars for you. Yeah, we'll sort that out. That'll be an ABS sensor. But yeah, it's a very easy car to use, very easy to drive, and I quite like it. Glad to see the previous owners put some nice hardware and rubber mats in it as well, so that should save the flooring. And having come from a garage who I know pride themselves on service and having sort of well looked after cars, I know that this car will have been looked after by Bowens throughout its life, as well as that previous owner. So yeah, a nice little bit of kit this, and a lot nicer than I thought, because I probably assumed it was very similar to the previous generation Corsa. It doesn't look that different on the outside, does it? But this interior is definitely a big step up from Corsas that I've been in previously. Now, we have got 2 keys for this car. We've got full service history. I've got all the books for it, and I'll list all the details of the service history and the car itself in the description of this video. So if you are interested in it, have a little look at the description below, and it'll also tell you how to get in touch with us if you are interested in it. But of course, you might just be looking at this just to peruse cars today, and if you are, good for you, because I do the same thing myself. I'm a big nerd on this type of thing. So if you're wanting to see more, please subscribe to our channel. We'd love you to do that. We are ashtonscars.co.uk, and if you hit the subscribe button now and then hit the notifications, you will be kept abreast of the cars that we've got coming in and out of stock, like this Corsa. But we also have some weird and wonderful stuff here. We do have an eclectic mix of vehicles that we buy, and we also deliver them all over the country. So come with me and follow me on my adventures. And on the course, the subject of that, this car is going to be available for nationwide delivery itself. It's got to go through our prep centre, and we will just check out that ESC, put a little bit of lacquer on that mark that's on the back of it, and give it a good polish. And I think it's pretty much good to go, this car is. It's not something that needs a lot of work on it. Even things like the alloy wheels are actually in really great shape for a 10-year-old car, and I wish they were all like that. Even that passenger one, that one that always ends up marked, there's only the smallest of grazes by there, and I think that may even come out with a bit of a clean. It's just some black off the tyre, I think. So it's in good shape. But yeah, if you're interested in it, 07932 873 646 is my number, and you can ring me anytime you like, and we will do our best to accommodate you. So yeah, please don't ring me at 2 in the morning, but you will get an answer phone if you do that. But yeah, give us a call if you're interested in this beauty or anything else that we've offered on the channel. 07932 873 646. And regardless of if you're buying or browsing or just bored on a weekday looking at car videos on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, please, because it really helps us out a great deal, and we will very much appreciate it. Thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Have yourselves a great day wherever you are. And we shall see you soon. You're at Ashton's Cars. Bye for now.